All right, we're going to go ahead and get started here. All right, everybody, if we could, I ask Reverend Michael Guerra from Connect Point Church, Middleburg, to come on up and give the invocation, which will be followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. If everyone would please stand.
Good evening, everyone. If you'll join me in prayer. Jesus, we love you. We thank you for the opportunity to come together today and to talk about the business that's important to us, it's close to our hearts, because we're talking about our children in this community. We pray that you would guide us with your spirit. We know there's a lot of important decisions that are going to be made here tonight. We pray that you would grant us your wisdom, that you'd grant us your peace and direction, or that the right thing would be done for our children, for the teachers that are overseeing them, for the administration, for everyone that's involved. Just lead us with your wisdom and give us your grace. And we thank you and praise you for all these things. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. If you'll join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, good evening. It's great to see everybody here, especially to hear these young singers from Shadowlawn Elementary School, led by Zachary Shambhala, music teacher. The Shadowlawn Singing Falcons are a mixed group chorus consisting of 35 talented third, fourth, and fifth graders. This group meets after school once a week. While some songs may also be worked on in the classroom, they have been working hard to sing two amazing songs for you this evening. One is a patriotic classic, and the other is a 1950s classic that might have been before my time, that really showcases their ability to soar to new heights. Once again, the Shadowlawn Singing Falcons. All right, one big round of applause for the Singing Falcons, Shadowlawn Elementary. Let's give them 1 minute so they can exit, and I'm sure some parents want to exit also. All right, let's go ahead and let's get started. If I can get your attention up here, please. We'll go ahead and we'll get started this evening. Want to take a minute to thank Shadowlawn Elementary and Miss Barker for the beautiful artwork on display. This collection showcases the creativity of students from kindergarten through 5th grade. Students have been studying the element of art, focusing on line, shape, color, space, and texture. Students in 3rd through 5th grade explored Zentangle art. Yes, I had to look that up. Using repetitive lines to create intricate designs. They looked at the art of Vincent van Gogh to see how he used line to bring his masterpieces to life. They also learned about perspective, including how to create one-point perspective drawings. Students experimented with the variety of mediums. We are so proud of all their hard work and creativity and hope you enjoy the artwork that you see displayed in the back. So one last big round of applause for Shadowlawn Elementary School. I call to order the organizational meeting of the School Board of Clay County, Florida, this 6th day of November, 2025. This meeting is called pursuant to Section 1001.371 Florida statutes for the purpose of organizing the school board by the election of a chair and vice chair. So at this time, I will now open the floor for a recommendation for chair.
I'd like to nominate Ashley Gilhousen.
Are there any other nominations?
I'd like to nominate Aaron Skipper.
So any other nominations? Okay, so I have two nominations, Ashley Gilhousen, Aaron Skipper for chair. We go in that order. I'm going to ask that you raise your hand and say aye when I ask the following question. All in favor of Ashley Gilhousen being nominated as chair? Okay. That's 1-4. Aaron Skipper, all in favor of Aaron Skipper as chair, raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
That means that Aaron Skipper is the new chair for this next school year, or the repetitive chair from this year. Now I'll open up the nominations for the vice chair. Do I hear any nominations for vice chair?
I'd like to nominate Ashley Gilhousen.
Are there any other nominations besides Ms. Gilhousen? Hearing no other nominations, let's go through the procedure of a vote. All in favor of Ashley Gilhousen, please raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
So congratulations, Ms. Erin Skipper is our chair for this upcoming year. Ms. Ashley Gilhousen is our vice chair. Let's give them a big round of applause. At this time, it's also ceremonial that because we're ending this school year at this organizational meeting, that we present a plaque to our outgoing chair, who's now our ingoing chair, Erin Skipper. We want to thank Ms. Skipper for her 3 years of dedication and loyal service to the school board and her role as chair and all that she's done and the passion that she brings to our school system. So I'd like to present this plaque on behalf of the school district. You know, that the chair of the school board and the school district itself have to work closely in order to get the job done, and we appreciate Ms. Skipper working closely with us. Thank you so much. And now I turn it over to Ms. Skipper.
All right, thank you. At this time, we are going to establish date and times of meetings. So the next item to the organization of the board is to establish dates and times for the schedule of a regular school board meeting for the upcoming year. The superintendent's proposed recommendation is that the board establish meeting dates and times for regular school board meetings for the period December 2025 through November 2026 as the first Thursday of each month, with the exception of December's meeting due to the annual joint conference, which will be Thursday, December 11th, 2025. The January meeting due to the New Year's holiday, which will be Thursday, January 8th, 2026, and the July meeting due to the July 4th holiday, which will be Thursday, June 25th, 2026. All meetings to be held at 6 p.m. at Fleming Island High School and the Teacher and Service Center. Board members, is there a motion to approve?
I'll move approval.
I have a motion from Ms. Gilhousen. Can I get a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Next up, we have authorized payment of bonds for school board members. Is there a motion?
Move approval.
I have a motion from Ms. Gilhousen. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
I have a second from Ms. Clark. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Next up is bank resolutions due to change of school board. Oh, nope, we don't do that. Sorry, right? No, we're good. All right, well, at this time, this current meeting is adjourned. And now, sorry, okay. And now I will call to order the meeting, school board meeting for November 6, 2025. Welcome, citizens of Clay County. I want to take the opportunity to thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to attend tonight's school board meeting. This meeting is our opportunity as your elected representatives to collaborate openly and make decisions that will decide the future direction of our public schools and the education of our children here in Clay County. If you wish to address the board on the agenda item, there will be an opportunity to speak for 3 minutes. Please fill out a card located at the side entry door indicating the specific item, number, or topic you wish to speak about, and turn it in promptly to one of the officers. If you have items that you would like to present to the school board or superintendent, please hand them to an officer who will distribute them accordingly. Speakers who wish to address specific agenda items will be heard following the recognitions and awards portion of the meeting. Speakers wishing to address non-agenda items will be heard following the adoption of the consent agenda. No additional cards will be accepted once the board moves to public comment section under the presentation from the audience. Your participation is welcomed and appreciated. Up next, we're going to move right along and we're going to do recognitions of art and the Capital winner with Mr. Chris Gould, Fine Arts Curriculum Specialist. Sorry.
Good evening, school board members, superintendent, and community. It is my pleasure to recognize an exceptional young artist from Clay County tonight who has earned a prestigious honor in the statewide Art in the Capitol contest. This annual competition invites grades 6 through 8 students from across Florida to create artwork reflecting their creativity and artistic skills, with each county's winning piece displayed in our state capitol during the legislative session. This year, I am thrilled to announce that Clay County's winner is Athena Early, an 8th grade student at Lake Asbury Junior High. Athena created a stunning pen and ink drawing with watercolor titled The Water Moth. According to the judges, Athena's piece stood out among numerous entries because of its vibrant background, which created a strong contrast and highlight to the line work of the moth. The judges also thought the artwork allowed for a photorealistic perception, which was juxtaposed with the watercolor, creating a blurry background. I'd like to take a moment to thank Lake Asbury Junior High School principal Lydia Creel and Athena's art teacher Desiree Stone for fostering a creative and supportive environment for all of their students. After tonight's recognition, the artwork will be delivered to the Capitol by a representative from Florida Senator Jennifer Bradley's office. They'll be taking Athena's artwork back to the Capitol to inspire visitors and legislators throughout the upcoming session. The Art in the Capitol winning pieces from across the state will hang in the Florida Capitol's second floor rotunda. At this time, I'd like to invite Athena Early to the front. Congratulations, Athena, on this incredible achievement. On behalf of Clay County District Schools, we congratulate you and look forward to seeing all the places that your artistic skills will take you. Let's give another round of applause for Athena.
Next up, we are going to recognize outstanding 2025-2026 school volunteers with Miss Tori Grenice, Coordinator of Family and Community Engagement.
Good evening, board members, Superintendent Broski, and guests. With me tonight, I have my amazing family and community engagement specialist, Paula Summers, and together we are proud to present the Clay County District Schools Outstanding Volunteer Awards for the 2025-2026 school year. November is recognized across the state of Florida as Family Engagement Month, a time to celebrate the powerful partnerships between schools, families, and communities that help students thrive. There's no better way to honor this month than by recognizing the volunteers whose dedication, time, and care strengthen our schools and support student success every single day. On these first few slides, you'll see just a few snapshots of the incredible volunteer efforts happening across our schools, from Orange Park Elementary's Trunk or Treat and campus beautification projects to Lake Asbury Junior High's Trunk or Treat event. Fleming Island Elementary is on here and their campus beautification. Clay High School students volunteering at their back to school bash. And these are just, these examples represent just a fraction of the ways our volunteers make a difference, but we also want to recognize our faith-based and community partners, including the church volunteers who helped with Fleming Island High School's beautification project prior to the start of the school year. These images represent only a fraction of the countless ways our parents, students, and community members contribute their time and talents to make a difference in Clay County schools. On this next slide, you'll see some of our district-wide volunteer data so far this year. We have over 12,000 level 1 volunteers. We have over 2,000 level 2 volunteers. We have hosted more than 225 school events, and that is not including extracurriculars, fine arts performances, or athletic events. And an impressive 16,000 volunteer hours recorded so far this school year. While these numbers are incredible, the true impact of our volunteers goes far beyond what can be measured. Their time, compassion, and commitment have a lasting effect on our students, staff, and school communities. Tonight, we are honored to highlight 4 extraordinary individuals whose dedication stood out among many deserving volunteers. Each of these honorees was nominated by their school administration teams and selected by a district committee for their outstanding contributions. I'm excited to share a little bit about each of their stories told through the heartfelt words of those who nominated them. When I call your name, you may come forward to receive your certificate. First, we have Ivy Carroll, an 8th grader at Orange Park Junior High School. Ivy has made an extraordinary impact across her school and community through a wide range of volunteer efforts. She has supported athletic events, helped with volleyball concessions and football and flag football ticket sales, ensuring events run smoothly and fostering the school spirit. She has also assisted teachers with classroom setup and organization, creating welcoming and structured learning environments for her peers. Beyond the school walls, Ivy has contributed to the Ridgeview High School Drama Camp, tutored fellow students, and participated in a historical society tour, helping preserve and share community history. Whether helping in the classroom, at events, or with peers, Ivy's efforts reflect her commitment to fostering a positive and thriving school environment. Ivy's creativity and initiative have not only enhanced school programs, but have also positively influenced the learning and growth of students across Orange Park Junior's campus. Please join me again in celebrating Ivy Carroll, our CCDS Youth Outstanding Volunteer of the Year. Our next honoree is Tammy Miller, an extraordinary volunteer at Fleming Island Elementary. A little bit about Tammy. So for over 6 years, Tammy has dedicated her time, energy, and creativity to support students, families, and staff, contributing more than 700 hours of volunteer service in the past year alone. As president of the PFA, she has strengthened family engagement, guided volunteers, and helped foster a welcoming and positive school culture. Tammy's leadership has transformed the school's PBIS program, turning the PBIS store into a vibrant, student-centered space that recognizes and rewards positive behavior. She also organizes major school events, including the Glow Dance and the Halloween Carnival, providing opportunities for families to connect and students to feel celebrated. Through her consistent dedication, innovative spirit, and collaborative approach, Tammy has made a lasting impact on school climate, student motivation, and an overall sense of community at Fleming Island Elementary. Please join me in celebrating Tammy Miller, our Adult Outstanding Volunteer of the Year. Oh, sorry. Do we have a volunteer that can help with technical difficulties? Our next honoree is Deborah Garvin, a remarkable senior volunteer at Middleburg Elementary. Deborah is the cornerstone of the school library, wherein she ensures that it runs smoothly by checking books in and out, shelving, and maintaining a welcoming space for students. She works closely with kindergarten students, patiently helping them, keyword patiently, helping them find books and fostering early literacy and a love for reading. Her contributions extend far beyond the library. Deborah organizes materials for small group lessons, supports the McKinney-Vento program, and prepares weekly teacher folders, saving teachers valuable time so they can focus on instruction. She also enhances school spirit by decorating for events like Dad's Bring Your Child to School Day and donating treats and supplies that brighten classrooms and staff spaces. Deborah's volunteerism is not only consistent but multi-generational, beginning decades ago with her own children and continuing today with her grandchildren. Her proactive, generous, and encouraging spirit also inspires others to volunteer, multiplying her impact and building a stronger school community. Through her dedication, creativity, and care, Deborah has positively influenced every single student, teacher, and family at her school, making her an invaluable member of the Middleburg Elementary family. Please join me one more time in congratulating Deborah Garvin, our Senior Volunteer of the Year. And last but not least, our final honoree is Ashley Pippin Jones, a resiliency coach volunteer from Tynes Elementary. Ashley has been an integral part of the school community for the past 5 years, dedicating her time and energy to supporting students, families, and staff. Working closely with the school's mental health counselor, school counselors, and dean of students, Ashley identifies students who may be struggling academically or socially and builds positive mentoring relationships that help them thrive. She actively mentors members of the Tynes Tiger Club and informally mentors several other students, regularly communicating with classroom teachers, parents, and counseling staff to ensure these students have the guidance and support that they need. Ashley's leadership extends far beyond direct student support, as she helped to create a volunteer coordinator position on the PFA board, expanding the volunteer network from just a handful of parents to a robust community of family volunteers. Her coordination ensures that every volunteer need on campus is met, increasing family engagement and strengthening school programs. On any given day, Ashley may be supporting the media center, assisting with special events, or mentoring students, often averaging 20 hours per week. Not counting the additional time she dedicates through calls and emails, her efforts enable large-scale events such as the PFA's Fall Festival to succeed with dozens of teen and adult volunteers contributing. Through her commitment, advocacy, and ability to harness the power of community, Ashley has made a lasting impact on her school, helping students develop resilience, confidence, and meaningful connections. Join me in congratulating Ashley Pippin Jones, our Resiliency Coach of the Year. Would these administrators please come up for a picture as well?
Up next, we have the recognition of the 2025-2026 Clay County Principal of the Year, presented by Superintendent Mr. Broski.
All right, this person's probably going to think you're all here for him. This person, 24 years within our district, started in Lakeside Junior High, 2002, teacher at Orange Park High School, athletic director at Orange Park High School, AP and principal at Bannerman Learning Center, been at Middleburg High School since 2020. Under his leadership, Middleburg High School has earned an A school ranking 3 consecutive years in a row, which I see Ms. Richardson here. We know that's special, and that's a lead air to say the least. District leader in the rollout of positive behavior supports, deeply committed to reaching all learners on his campus, a great mentor for new principals, consistently at the top of the list for walkthrough numbers. He's in the classroom, seeing what's happening at his school. Industry certifications increased from 235 to 692. Okay, so students are exceeding expectations at his school. CTE signing with business partners and students who are entering the workforce directly, supporting all students, not just college-bound students, is his mantra. Visible in the community, supporting students at all events. He is Mr. Middleburg High School, our principal of the year for 25-26, Mr. Martin Aftuck.
Mr. Broski, can I say something, Mr. Broski? I just want to let you know that his positive attitude is infectious. In my family, personally, our 2 homeschool girls are now going to Middleburg High, one starting in January. It would have never happened without the positivity that you give to your teachers and your students, and I personally appreciate you.
Thank you, Mr. Afton.
Sorry. Up next, Superintendent Broski will present the recognition of S. Brian Jennings Elementary for consideration as a 2026 Exceeding Expectations Award School.
Okay, it's my honor to present this this award, Exceeding Expectations. You know, not every school's made the same. They don't serve all the same communities out there, and so some schools exceed expectations. You might say, well, what does that mean? There's actually a group that studied data across the state of all of our schools, and then they used various metrics that I'm going to explain as quickly as I can in order to make a determination like this. So this is not something you apply for. It's not something you seek. It's something that other people look at the data and then say, that's a school that needs to be recognized for the work that's happening there. So there's some basic background about the exceeding expectation schools, but I think it's best just to show you this graphic. So if you look at it, in 2025, there's about 1,794 elementary schools across the state. Then you look down the red bar, the second bar down, it dropped down to 1,260 that were that had a poverty index. Then you see down the next sort of red, 694. That's the number of schools that had an A or a B ranking, and this school has an A ranking, by the way. Then you go down to the turquoise color, no ESSER findings. That means every single subgroup on campus met the federal index. Then you go down another level, and you can see it's down to 200 now across the whole state that reached this level, which is a percentile ranking of achievement above 50. And then you can see you're down to 90 schools across the state have achieved this, a percentile ranking for learning gains. Then you can see the last two, you're down to 45. And then eventually only 35 schools across the entire state of Florida fit this particular category for this school. So this really is amazing and great work happening at this school. The school that I'd like to recognize as a top 2% in all of Florida under this index is S. Brian Jennings Elementary School. We have Principal Farber here, and S. Brian Jennings is just a great place for kids to go to school. Through her leadership and the faculty there, they do great things, so congratulations.
All right, up next we have a school showcase, Shadowlawn Elementary School with Principal Whitney Johnson.
Oh, and there's some sound on that, if you could turn the sound on.
they work on that, I'll just go ahead and get started. First of all, Mr. Broski, board members, I want to thank you guys for having us here so Shadowlawn can showcase this amazing school. Board members, I know that you all have never had the opportunity to visit our school, so we have something for you to make you honorary Falcons for just tonight. And Mr. Moore is going to bring that to you. Everybody wants some SLE swag, obviously. And for Mr. Broski, you have a hard job, and I know that there's often times that you don't get to really enjoy the fruits of your labor and leadership. So for you, we have a box of handwritten notes from our staff, so every day you can start the day on a positive note. Okay. All right, so good evening. So I'm Principal Whitney Johnson. I'm the proud principal at Shadowlawn Elementary School. I'm in my 8th year as an administrator there. And you know, the beauty of my school is I got to go to a school that was already beautiful, and my only goal was to help continue to bring it to its full brilliance. I have amazing teachers, and right here with me tonight is Mr. William Moore, who is my assistant principal, and he's in his 2nd year at Shadowlawn, and he has been an amazing addition to our team. He's a Falcon through and through. Okay, and so now I want to introduce you to what matters the most at our school, and that's the faculty and staff at SLE. They are really the star of the show. I don't know how many of you all are familiar with Mrs. Honey from Matilda or Mrs. Frizzle from the Magic School Bus. If you're here tonight, I'm sure you are. Well, our teachers are like if you took them, made a mold, they had a baby, and you created a super teacher. That's my teachers, who are the best of the best. And I got some right here, and I'm super proud of them. So I just want to take a moment and let you meet all of them, because I'm just so proud of them.
If you ever find yourself stuck in the middle of the sea, I'll sail the world to find you. If you ever find yourself lost in the dark and you can't see, I'll be the light to guide you. Find out what we're made of when we are called to help our friends in need. You can count on me like 1, 2, 3, I'll be there. And I know when I need it, I can count on you like 4, 3, 2, and you'll be there. 'Cause that's what friends are supposed to do.
So what I love about our school is, like, so once a Falcon, always a Falcon. I think I just stole that from Lakeside, but facts are facts. So at Shadowlawn, like, we even have teachers who went to school there who were so impacted by our educators, some of them whom are right here, that they came back and were like, you know what, I want to come and be part of that special community again. Just kidding. So I want you to meet Cassidy Chaff. I actually got to hire her last year. She went to Shadowlawn, so she's a former and a current Falcon. And she talked about the impacts that Shadowlawn had on her. And now she's back and she's making impacts of her own, and it's beautiful. And we're so proud of that. So I can't say enough what a magical school we have. And I think that what makes our school so magical is because we take culture and we take the expectation of achievement and we kind of swirl that around and it comes out as excellence. And part of that is with our teachers. You know, we know that if our teachers are happy and they feel that homeostasis, that's going to trickle down to the students. And that's our goal. Sometimes we know it's okay to slow down and it's okay to, you know, maybe you don't need to test that day. Maybe you need to make a macaroni necklace for your grandma. That's all right, you know? Or maybe you need to step outside and you need to see if you can see the SpaceX launch. That's okay too. Because what teachers do best is they not only, you know, we don't just teach and learn, we make beautiful core memories. That's who we are at our core. That's what we do. So at Shadowlawn, we have guidelines and we have rules. We're very big on character. We feel that by building character, we're going to soar. We're going to soar in the classroom, and that's what we focus on. Our students are very aware of these expectations, and that makes us special. And obviously, to reinforce this, you couldn't have, you know, those great guidelines and rules without an amazing school counselor who can reinforce that and come in and make sure that students are meeting their behavioral and academic goals. We have a school counselor named Stacy Murphy, and she is truly just above par, and she helps all of our students soar. Oh, and this is one of my favorite places. I spend a lot of time here. So here we have the Falcon Cafe. Some of y'all might call it your lunch room, your cafeteria, but no, ours is a cafe. And so we feel like that culture should extend across the campus. And I obviously have one of the best cafeteria managers in the county here, Zoe Drury, and she also has something for you guys over here. But the Falcon Cafe is really a place where you can get the world's best queso, mashed potatoes, you know what I'm talking about, when they have the rolls too. You can dip the roll in the queso. It's a thing. It's a thing. So that's what we do. We have fun Fridays where you go in the cafeteria and you're going to listen to some throwback jams and you're going to get your positivity on. Miss Drury here, she has established the HairNet Hero program where students are recognized for kindness, positivity, good manners, and she has set the bar. She's set the bar on expectation on what kids deserve when they walk into the Falcon Cafe. She's got a little something for you too. You want to take that up? Oh, you already got them. Oh, so if you ever come to our school, you can take that pass, skip the line. It's your lucky day. It's going to take you right to the front. Okay, so because we are so heavy in mixing culture with academic expectation, we see this formula play out, obviously, with being a top 5 school in Clay County, just FYI. We're a proud A school, and not only that, we've been designated by the Department of Education as a school of excellence. So we're owning it out there, 100%. And so I think, you know, when I think about where we want to go, our goal is to continue to rise, because what happens is when we meet these numbers, which our teachers work so hard to do because they love kids and they're amazing teachers, what happens is we know these numbers mean that we're providing our students and families with a high quality education, and they deserve that. And that's what they get at Shadowlawn. And just some more warm and fuzzies. I just want to tell you what makes us special also. But we have a deep sense of community, okay? We're always working towards involving our families and our students into the fabric of our school. So we're always trying to offer community events and clubs, and I'm just going to go over a few of them. We have lots of them, but just a few. So if you were to come to Shadowlawn, you could experience Rocking Around SLE, where you could experience the sounds of the season with your family. We have the drama club, which is led by, it's teacher-led, by the way, by Mabel Perez, our teacher of the year, Leah King, who's right here, whoop whoop, and Sydney Mullen. And these aren't just like, these are above par theater performances. They're engaging, they're captivating. Like I would pay money, 100% to see them. Oh, next we have the chess club, which I have Jessica Moreland, my chess club coach right here. And so in our chess club, our goal is to teach critical thinking skills and that there are no gray areas, only black and white. Yes. Hey. Stop. Thanks. We also have our storybook parade. Now, if you had been there last Friday, not only would you have seen the most adorable children dressed up, especially my favorite at the bottom, that's a boy stuck in a porta potty. And that's a win for the team right there. He won. He won it all. But then you could have also have seen our 4th and 5th graders do a flash mob to Thriller, and like, surprise, right? So much fun. And that was led by our coach Schaefer, who was dressed like a dinosaur while she did it. Yeah, that's a teacher right there. And we have our Dads and Donuts, which we have an amazing turnout. That's where you can come and you can sip hot coffee and eat donuts with your favorite Falcon in the morning. That's just a good time. And while we have so many more things to offer, I had to at least bring up the chariot races because I know that this is unique to us. We have the only school where not only do you design and build a chariot, you race a chariot. So for just a day, Shadowlawn goes back and we turn into the Roman Empire. Like, it gets a little dangerous, but look, we have fun with it. Oh, and then of course our community partnerships. This is very special to us, and we're very grateful for all of these are all of our businesses who work with our school, and this is another way that we can keep our environment positive because these businesses help us to provide incentives for our staff and our students to really keep things fun. So we appreciate all of them. And then I can't say enough about our parents and guardians as well. We know that they entrust us with their kids for most of the day. Sometimes we see them longer than they do, and we don't take that lightly, and we honor that at Shadowlawn. And their opinion and their input matters to us, and we take that into account. We asked many families, we said, hey, you know, why are you proud to be a Falcon? And I want to take a minute and I want to listen to one mom, and I just want you all to know that this is not a paid actress. Gave her nothing. But, you know, I might need to when it's done. So just take a listen here real quick.
I am a proud parent of 2 little Falcons at Shadowlawn Elementary, and quite honestly, I do not think my kids would thrive as well as they are in any other school. And the reason for that is because of our teachers. Hands down, we have some of the best teachers in the county. They love our kids well. They love my kids well. They are always willing to walk through whatever it may be with them, whether they just woke up grumpy that morning or whether they were struggling with a particular test. The teachers are so encouraging with the kids. They're so loving, and they are willing to walk through whatever they need to that day to help kind of turn maybe that grumpopotamus attitude around. So I appreciate how much these teachers invest in my kids and just our kids in general. Honestly, you walk through the hallways of Shadowlawn, they are bright, they are colorful. They are full of the kids' art, and these kids are happy. Like, they want to be at this school. And I think a lot of that starts from the top down. Having Principal Johnson as our principal and the way that she leads and the way that she loves the kids as well, I think that just has a trickle effect throughout the whole school. So honestly, I cannot think of a better school I would rather be in. I so much appreciate her leadership, just not with the teachers, but with the kids as well. And I think that these kids want to do well. You know, when you have support from the top down, the kids want to perform a certain way so that, you know, they can make everyone around them proud. So as a parent, I am grateful to be part of Shadowlawn. I am proud to be there, and I honestly cannot think of anywhere else I would rather be.
So since I'm right here and I've got the podium, I want to shamelessly congratulate and plug my Teacher of the Year, Leah King. Could you just stand up real quick? Right here. Yeah, she's shy. Hey, she's a powerhouse in the classroom. I would literally walk on hot coals for her. She is good. Anyway, needless to say, I appreciate your time, and I truly just want to thank you all for giving us the opportunity to share our story with you. It's a story we're proud of. I'm proud of our teachers. I love these ladies, and we thank you for your time. Have a good night.
Ms. Drury, we'll be there on Italian Dunker Day. All right. Last call for comment cards. After this, we will not be accepting any, just a FYI. And we're going to, since there's no specific agenda item, we're going to keep moving on to discussion items. Okay. So at this time, we are going to open the public hearing to approve as advertised revisions to the school board policies and bylaws. If you would like to make a public comment on these specific policies and bylaws, please line up at the podium. You do not need a comment card. Seeing none, we are going to close the public hearing. Can I get a motion from the board to approve the school board policies and bylaws revisions?
I'll move to approve.
I have a motion from Ms. Hanson. Can I get a second?
Second.
I have a second from Mr. Alvaro. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Vote carries 5-0. And there is no human resource special action, so we're going to move on to the consent agenda. Please note proclamation number 26-07 to establish November 17th through the 21st, 2025 as National Education Week and November 19th, 2025 as Educational Support Professionals Day. Sorry. Also proclamations 26-08 to establish School Psychologist Week as November 3rd through the 7th, 2025. Can I get a motion to adopt the consent agenda?
I'll move approval.
I have a motion from Ms. Gilhausen. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
I have a second from Ms. Clark. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. All right, at this time, we are going to do public comment. I'm going to have at least 5 of you line up at a time behind each other. So when I call your name, just line up because there's quite a few of you. So we want to be efficient on time. That being said, remember our rules that are not posted up there. Maybe we can get them up there. Kind of nice. All right, so first up I have, oh, and to be efficient, when your time runs out, there will be no running over. When it dings, the next one comes up. But I do not see a name on here, so hold on one second. Oh. Shonda Holloway will be our first one. John Meeks following her. Please come to the podium and line up behind each other, please. Nikita Copeland. Christine DeVault. Shonda Holloway, are you present? John Meeks, if you'll be first, and then we will have Miss Nikita following, Christine DeVault, and then Sherry Sommers. Is Miss Sherry Sommers present? Okay, please line up. Please line up behind each other so that we can keep going. Miss Kelly Stoudner. And we'll start with that and then go from there. So you have 3 minutes. Mr. Meeks, go right ahead.
Yes, ma'am.
Remember to state your name and address.
Yes, ma'am. John Lewis Meeks Jr. I live at 3500 University Boulevard North, Jacksonville, Florida, apartment 3301. This is a homecoming for me because I grew up in Clay County. I went to William E. Cherry Elementary School. I remember Jesse Tynes signed our report cards back then. It seemed like he was superintendent forever. Went to Orange Park Middle School and Orange Park Junior High School and Orange Park High School. And I am proud to say I'm now a public school teacher of 23 years, thanks to the work that your teachers and education staff professionals put into me, invested in me as a young man. So I'm grateful for them teaching this late talker how to speak. My mother says, will you ever stop talking? You taught me how to become a good journalist, a good writer, a dreamer, a thinker, a doer. And I'm ever so grateful to the men and women of Clay County who taught me and helped raise me. And I became a teacher of the year because I modeled my work after that of Jeannie Chambliss, my language art teacher at Orange Park High School, and we're still in close touch. And we have brunch on Sundays together. And this proud Raider is expressing his gratitude from the bottom of his very heart and hopes and truly prays that we do right by our teachers and education staff professionals. Go Raiders.
Miss Nikita, you're up.
My name is Nikita Copeland, and I live at 3222 Wood Glen Drive in Orange Park. I don't have a 3-minute speech for you. I just have a couple of things that I wanted to say. The teachers are what give your schools the A grade that everybody likes to boast about. I have 3 kids that attend Clay schools, and it used to be 4. Not one of their teachers, present or past, is worth 0% of a raise. They come in early, they leave late. They use a lot of their income to fund their classrooms, either be it lessons or just fun activities for the kids to do. They also put themselves in front of our children as human shields to protect them. They're more than educators, more than mentors. They're essential members of the village that it takes to raise our children. And I'd like to understand how their contribution ranks below the boards when they themselves are with our kids more than full-time. And the board position is a part-time gig. I feel as a community we know better, and if we know better, we must do better by the essential members of our village. Remember that they're the key factors in shaping the futures of all of us in this room and in this county. I feel this insult has an extreme negative impact on our community as a whole. It's just my 2-cent opinion, but I'm sure the majority of your stakeholders agree.
Next up, Miss Christine DeVault. I'm going to ask everyone to hold their applause in between because the next person's going to come up and their time's going to start and you're not going to be able to hear what they say. So Miss DeVault, can you please?
Hey, my name is Christine Savoy DeVault, address is on file. I am an RN at a local junior high school, standing before you again to first thank the board for making the decision to have a full-time mental health counselor at our school. The support has been vital for the needs of our students. For some of it, has been a matter of life and death. Our mental health support is wonderful and already has a full schedule, the one you hired. Now I stand before you to address the matter of the increase of the 500 students to our school, then how there was positions that were eliminated before the increase of our students. There was no consideration taken into account of the fact, along with no compensation whatsoever, there's 2 of us in our tiny little clinic, and you did not take into account the needs of more space to care for the increase of these students. Upon our inspection with the Department of Health recently, we passed with flying colors, all besides the number of students that enter our clinic is over capacity. Now, us as nurses are considered support staff, holding the 6th graders, increased our needs for space, also increased our paperwork, liability, and workload, including hearing vision screenings, scoliosis testing, height, weight, more reports, including multiple communications that have to be shared with the parents multiple times. In stating all of this, none of us do this for the money, but increasing all of our jobs by 500 students with no compensation speaks volumes to your employees. Please consider these facts with all the increase of housing development and new highway. I'm really not sure why there is no money. Thank you for your consideration.
Ms. Sherry?
My name is Sherry Somers. I live at 9967 Merlin Drive East, Jacksonville, Florida, 32257. This is my 25th year in public education. For 2 of those years, I was a kindergarten teacher, and during the other 23 years, I have been working as a school counselor. I'm here tonight to implore the school board to make teacher pay a priority. The professionals who are educating and nurturing those who will one day be running our country should not have to hold multiple jobs in order to take care of their families. I personally know of several coworkers in my current work location who do have multiple jobs in order to make ends meet for their families. Teachers need to be financially compensated appropriately for their hard work and dedication. Every year when I make the Toys for Tots and holiday food lists for families that are unable to provide Christmas gifts and holiday meals for their families, I have to put a few of my faculty members on those lists. I find it shameful that these hardworking professionals are paid so little by our school district that they qualify for these resources. Furthermore, the fact that incoming teachers are making only a few $1,000s less than those who are nearing retirement is unconscionable. I personally have a friend who is in her 6th year of teaching, and she makes $6,000 less than I do in my 25th year with 2 master's degrees. Many teachers are leaving our district so they can make more money in neighboring districts. If I were working in Duval County this year, I would be being paid $9,000 more than I am currently being paid. Board members, please make teacher pay a priority so we can retain our hardworking, experienced teachers. Thank you for listening to me tonight.
Ms. Kelly?
Good evening. Kelly Stoudenauer, my address is on file. I have spoken to the board before tonight as a teacher, breaking down in detail how the salary is not providing a living wage for teachers. I have shared my son's medical conditions and the financial burden of being the lowest paid state in the country for a teaching profession and the exorbitant costs of the health care offered. I have listened to the reasons from the board at the end of the meetings with concerns over budget changes at both the state and federal level. I had a shred of hope that all parties involved were attempting to do their best to get teachers a fair contract, until honestly I didn't have any hope any longer. I have listened to the budget crisis and I've heard you say you cannot give teachers or the majority of them a raise despite the inflation and the state of our economy. As a part-time school board member, you had the audacity to acquire a pay increase on a part-time job, earning the salary of almost the salary of a teacher who works days, nights, weekends, and still does not have enough money to get ahead. Actions speak louder than words. That action is a huge slap in the face to the dedicated teachers of this county. It is unjustifiable. I cannot comprehend how you can say there is no money for the teachers to have even a basic standard of living raise. Instead of standing in solidarity with your employees by having a pay freeze for yourselves, you took the opportunity to increase your part-time pay to that of many full-time positions in the county. The exasperation is compounded when teachers hear they are not eligible or do not meet the criteria to have a raise with the assistance from the Safety and Security Fund. Do you honestly believe teachers are not the foundation of safety and security at school? If you do believe teachers are vital to the safety and security of the school, why would you deny us having a raise with use of these funds as is happening in other counties? Every year, teachers are taking the mandated safety and security required trainings that last hours. We have been trained with Stop the Bleed and the Life Act to ensure the safety of our students in case of emergency. We guard doors at arrival and dismissal times. We walk and ensure the safety of our bus riders, biker walkers, and parent pickup. We check and recheck locked doors. Just today, I had an incident where a student shoved another student. I was responsible for the safety and security of the students in my class. I got involved. I stopped the inappropriate behavior. I made contact with the parents. I put steps in place to ensure this incident would not happen again, and as I am responsible for the student safety in my classroom. Teachers are the first line of defense and protection. Just because we do not carry guns does not mean we are less vital to the safety and security of our schools. Attempting to deny this or the use of this fund is mind-boggling. Putting money towards digital signs outside of the schools is not an effective security measure.
Thank you. All right, up next, Miss Jean Baptist. I'm going to ask again that we hold our applause because this is cutting into time to your teachers. Okay, that's fine. Miss Jean Baptist, Victoria Tompkins, Shanna Bell, Roberto Torres. They're gonna miss their opportunity to speak because they can't hear, and then you're not gonna be able to hear them. Jean, Victoria, Shannon, Roberto, Caitlin, Kim. I didn't say Caitlin's last name. Tomazinas, Kimberly Depusis. Dupree. Donna Gannis. Winona Melton. Chris Harris. Justine Gallup. Okay, there you go. Ms. Jean, go right ahead. State your name and your address. Jean Bastine, the first name I called. That all I see is Jean on here.
Good evening. My name is Dunia Jean-Baptiste. My address is on file. Just like the pastor that you had to come present, I'm going to start off with Luke 12:48, which talks about how much is given, therefore much is required. This conveys the idea that those who receive blessings, talents, or resources have a responsibility to use them for the benefit of others. According to Niche, however it is pronounced, .com 2025 rankings, Clay County is number 4 among best school districts in Florida, number 8 in the state for overall public schools, number 8 for having best teachers. So we see here where much is being given, so therefore much is required on your part. As it pertains to paying teachers, Clay ranks 48th through the 50th. That was earlier when I checked. When I got here, I was told 51st. The county uses 7 mindsets to teach the following: everything is possible, passion first, we are connected, 100% accountable, attitude of gratitude, live to give, the time is now, Well, if everything is possible, then it is possible for you to check your resources to see what it is that your collective minds can do to give teachers what it is that they have earned, that the county gets the benefit from. Passion first. Let's see where your passions lie based on the decisions that you make. We are connected. If we are truly connected, then we're going to make sure that every facet is recognized and that the needs are met. And we're talking about practical needs here, people being able to pay their mortgage, paying their rent, having the funds in order to pay for services that their children may need. 100% accountable. Teachers are held accountable. They are evaluated. They are provided with opportunities in order to better their craft. We need to make sure that you recognize that you are held to that standard as well. Attitude of gratitude. It needs to be more than just the attaboys and the glowing comments. It needs to be also reflected in the pay that you provide teachers. Live to give. It speaks for itself. The time is now. No better time like the present. James Baldwin said it best. I can't believe what you say because I see what you do. Thank you.
Miss Victoria?
Victoria Tompkins, address on file. I'm here tonight to speak about the substandard offering the district has made in regards to teacher pay raises. We are contracted to work 7.5 hours. 6.5 hours are with our students. Those hours do not even begin to include the time we give before and after school. On a typical day, I and many others arrive prior to contract. Did you know that to create a good, engaging lesson takes a minimum of 45 minutes, or to grade for 85 students, or create a test? And grading essays can take hours. Oh, and our planning is 30 minutes, a little longer in the higher grades. Depending on the day and the teacher, after our contracted hours, we voluntarily go to tutoring, drama club, girls on the run, math team, or sports, and the list goes on. Teachers then either stay at school or take work home. The times I quoted to get the basics done, that doesn't include parent phone calls, board configuration, basic room maintenance, required paperwork and training from the school or district, updating data spreadsheet, and the list never ends. Now try to add those hours up. It can't get done in contract hours. Despite all of this, we continue to do the job we love and do it very well, which is shown through our A rating, and yet the district offers us F money. Here are some things the district has said. It'll be a miracle if we make payroll by the end of the year. The digital marquees are a safety and security need. The state allots money for the superintendent and the school board raises. My response, if it will be a miracle if payroll is made, it will be a miracle there are teachers left in this county by the end of the year. The last time we had a code red lockdown, I don't remember the digital marquees coming in any room to help hide kids. Have you ever tried to hide 21 kids, one in a wheelchair, in a closet? But please continue to tell us that teachers are less important to safety and security than the digital marquees. The state does allot money for your raises. What you left out is that you voted yes to that raise. It's the principle. It may not be a lot, but it's the principle. For school board members who are elected officials to a voluntary part-time job to be making almost the same amount as a teacher is egregious for a number of reasons, but especially so in a year where budgets and jobs have been cut and now many are facing a food shortage issue. While you make this $48,000 something for a part-time job, you have many teachers working a second or even third job just to survive. People want to know, what does the board do to deserve this 3% raise? When you make your decision when presented with the district's budget plan and the unions, please remember the following. The majority of Clay County teachers fall into either 1 to 9 years of service or 21 years or more. The district wants to give nothing to teachers from 1 to 9 years, and they want to only offer $800 to our most veteran teachers. That's about $28 a check with a 14% tax rate. Your union is only asking for $1,500, about $53 after taxes, which for many is barely a tank of gas, but we will take it for all that we do. Remember that when you vote, I hope you will all be able to look every teacher in the eyes after you make your decision.
Ms. Shanna? Ms. Shanna, Ms. Bell?
Good evening. Clay County is one of the best school districts in the state of Florida, yet the average teacher salary for a Clay County teacher is $50,000, well below the state average, lower than neighboring counties. St. Johns County this year gave every teacher a raise ranging from $4,500 to $8,888. Under your proposed budget, a 20-year veteran teacher in Clay County receives only $800. What will happen to our community when the employees of Clay County's largest employer can no longer afford to live in the communities in which they serve? What is going to happen when those same employees can no longer support the businesses that support us? How will Clay County continue to grow and thrive? We can't. The answer is clear. When your employees struggle, our communities struggle. Your budget decisions are harming the very families who elected you to guide our most precious possessions, and the very people whose lives are dedicated to educating the next generation. We're not asking you to be fair. Fair would be for you to pay us for every hour that we work over our contract hours. And the average teacher works at least a minimum of 10 hours a week. That is over $11,000 in unpaid labor every year. We're not asking for that. We're not even asking for you to be competitive with the neighboring districts. What we are asking for is to show that you respect and value us. Mr. Broski, at the last school board meeting, you said the teachers wanted a nice place to work. And I thought about my Clay County teacher friend who, with 8 years of experience and a master's degree, is stuck in a bad marriage because she can only afford low-income housing for herself and her 2 girls. She deserves a decent place to live and a safe place to live for her and her children. Tonight, I am asking each board member to stand with the teachers who have to go to food banks in order to feed their family. Stand with the teachers who have to work 2 to 3 jobs to stay afloat. Stand with the teachers who have to forego medical and dental care because they just can't afford it. Tonight, I am asking you, if there's truly no money for teacher salaries, if there's not 1 cent, I am asking each and every one of you to make the hard but honorable decision to turn down your raise of $1,457.
Thank you, Mr. Torres. You're up next.
Good evening. My name is Roberto Torres. You have my address on file. Members of the school board, thank you very much for the time given. I come to you not as a teacher or as an employee of Clay County. I'm simply just a homeowner, taxpayer, and registered voter here. Me and my family moved to Jacksonville over a decade ago, started over at Duval. We eventually made our way over into Clay County, where my family me and myself included, bought our first homes. We've met our partners, my partner being a teacher for Clay County. We have been supremely happy when we first started here. She felt that my partner felt that she was getting a lot better support, better funding, and at the time, fair pay. Meanwhile, my family felt that my nieces and nephews were getting better support from the faculties, the teachers, the schools. They were just getting everything they've been needing. It's been great. However, these past couple of years, we couldn't ignore the decline. On top of the raising property taxes with people coming in, which I know that's not as out of your control, we have been noticing the slashing of funding, whether in school supplies, meager raises, just coming in left and right. I myself have had to put in more time at my own job just to make up for the lack of funding, so we don't degrade the quality of teaching my partner has been giving to the students and that my niece and nephew have been receiving. However, as far as for my family, enough was enough. They felt they were not getting a proper return of investment. We didn't come to Clay County for the amenities, for the parties, or anything. We came for the schools because you guys are the best, and I want you guys to continue being the best. But they eventually sold their homes, moved out to to Duval County and St. Johns County. My teacher friends and colleagues also ended up moving out to Duval County. Apologize. It is tough, but I really do not want to sell my home. I don't want to move to another county. I do believe in this district. I know teachers here are great, the community is great. I know you guys do a great job too when you can. I understand it's a full effort, but this is not sustainable. Last year, between the making up the lack of funding, paying for the additional certifications, and the very meager raise, I felt that we lost money last year, and the math proved it. So I urge you not only to do what's fair, is to invest into the future of this county. You guys will not only lose teachers, you will lose residents. We came here for the education. Please let us stay, and please continue to invest in the future here.
Miss Caitlin.
Hi, my name's Caitlin Tomazinas. My address is on file. I've been a third grade teacher for 12 years, and in my opinion, actions speak louder than words. So while I may be here this evening simply using my words to express my immense frustration, your actions, the actions of the board, can actually impact myself and my fellow educators. Something that I teach my students every year is the word integrity, to do the right thing even when no one is watching. When no one was looking, the board made sure to provide themselves that 3% raise this year. When no one was looking, multiple superintendents have increased their own salaries. When no one was looking, special advantages were made to help out everyone but your teachers. This is in reference to page 83 that the school board members will get reimbursement for their high-speed internet at home. Meanwhile, I don't. Also in reference to section 5, travel, on pages 85 to 89 of the revised salary schedule for this year. So now that the eyes are on you, will you continue these same patterns? Or will you show integrity and do what's right by your teachers and students? Teachers are demanded to do more than ever before, yet our value isn't matched. Our input and dedication to our craft has been used and abused for far too long. Teaching is one of the only jobs where we're called professionals, but we are certainly not treated in a professional manner. We are doubted, questioned, villainized, and made to believe that we don't deserve fair pay. We've been brainwashed to believe that we're in this profession for the outcome and not the income. Obviously, none of us went into education to become rich and famous, but we certainly did expect to live off of our one paycheck, but it's just not cutting it anymore. The amount of times that I've heard friends, family, neighbors, parents say things to the sentiment of, oh, teachers deserve to be paid better, but there's never any change. You're the people who can make the change. We shouldn't be standing here before you begging for income. What we should be is at home with our families, who we already spend such little time with because our jobs are so demanding already. We should have a school board that's fighting for us and with us for our pay. We should have a school board that's willing to work with our union for the betterment of all of us teachers here. But at the end of the day, I know it's the hard and fast numbers that speak more loudly than any personal story that you may hear. So you know all of the numbers. I'm not going to go through all of that again. I'm going to skip down to the next part. I have 3 main things to say. Teachers are incredibly resilient. Despite being shortchanged our salaries, we still continue to bring you a sustainable A grade. We work with all of these expectations, but we still show up. We are taken advantage of. Our hard work at this point is expected. We go above and beyond, always keeping the status quo, and we're expected to still keep our heads down, only because people say it's just part of the job that you signed up for. And lastly, we've sat by for too long. We are the ones who are doing the hard and dirty work in the classroom day in and day out, and we deserve fair pay. Thank you.
Ms. Kimberly.
Good evening. My name is Kimberly Dupuy, and my address is on file. I'm here tonight to get us thinking about safety and security. How? How could it happen? We have gates. How could it happen? The doors are locked. How could it happen? We have the best security system money can buy. How? How did it happen? The gate was breached. How did it happen? The lock was busted. How did it happen? The system was down. How? How did they save them? The teachers barricaded the doors. How did they save them? A custodian swept the campus for students. How did they save them? A heroic educator heard the words, "Well done, my good and faithful servant." I ask you, will you remember the ones who keep our students safe? Will you remember the ones who put themselves in harm's way? Will you remember the ones who give it their all? For when the things you've invested in fail, the ones you've forgotten remain. We remain the first on the line when a student is in crisis. We remain the first on the line to de-escalate a situation. And at the end of the day, all too often, we remain the last ones there, prepping and preparing for the day ahead. Why do you prioritize things and neglect to budget for people? We are the first and last lines of defense when it comes to safety and security.
Miss Donna?
Good evening. My name is Donna Gaines, and my address is on file. I am actually here this evening to speak on behalf of another teacher at my school who has lost her voice and is not feeling very well. She does have something that she wants you to know, though. As a single mother of 2 children, she cannot afford to take a day off because she is sick. She also qualifies for free and reduced lunch, and that is shameful. Please do right by our teachers. Thank you.
Winona? Miss Melton?
Hello. Good evening, members of the board. My name is Winona Melton, and my address is on file. I am here tonight as an employee of Clay County District Schools to express my deep disappointment in your decision not to provide raises for support staff. Quite frankly, this is unacceptable. Clay County Schools cannot function without its support staff. Without transportation department, more than 14,000 students would not get to school every day. Without our cafeteria staff, students would go without meals. Without our nurses, students who need medical care would not receive that care. Without our custodians, our schools would not be clean, safe, and ready for each and every school day. Every one of us, from transportation to food service, from maintenance to clerical, play a vital role into keeping our schools running smoothly. In many industries, employees receive a cost of living adjustment each year just to keep up with inflation. Yet our district denies us even the smallest increase. Even just 10 cents more an hour would make a difference. It's not about the money, it's about what it represents, that our work is valued. Meanwhile, surrounding counties are offering more competitive pay. Just for example, St. John's is paying its bus drivers up to $7 an hour more, plus bonuses. But because of that, we're losing good, experienced employees, 7 drivers this school year alone. So to be told that there is no funding for raises is simply unacceptable. This district has let down both its teachers and its support staff, the very people without whom this school district would not function. We deserve to be recognized and compensated fairly for our contributions. Clay County can and must do better. Thank you for your time.
Mr. Harris?
Chris Harris, 356 Willow Green Drive, Orange Park, 32073. She said I could have her extra time. 16 days ago, I emailed every board member, and I took a different approach. I could stand up here and talk to you about what I can afford. I've done that before. 16 days ago, I've yet to receive a response from anybody. That's unacceptable. Sorry, it's just unacceptable. Even just to let me know that you got my email would have been something. So my email approached things from a different angle. I asked some questions that I wanted some answers to, and that's why I emailed. And in my email, if you read it, I said I'd be here to ask the same questions. So one thing that I'm truly interested in is what, as a school board, you can do to share the frustrations of your constituents, your teachers, about the lack of funding from Tallahassee. Like, what can you do? What are you doing? Because maybe it's me, maybe I'm ignorant, I don't know. I don't know of what you can or have done in the past. So I'd love that information to be told to us. I'd like it to be transparent so that we have an idea of what legally you're allowed to do, what you have done, what you plan on doing. The second question was, I've been a teacher for 21 years. To hear that the budget was a shock. Florida hasn't budgeted for teachers in 21 years. So where is the forethought? Where is the planning to take care of us? It always seems like it's, well, we don't have the money, but if we have the money, we're going to give it to you. Well, can we start planning ahead? I don't see why that's so difficult. Are we communicating to the community, our parents, the dire needs of our teachers? Because a lot of them, I don't think, are aware. To me, that falls under your job to communicate that to the public so that they are willing to give more money, if that's what it takes, so that we can be paid a fair wage. You make, according to what I can find, about $4,000 less than I make after 21 years. But it took 16 days and I didn't even get a response. If I didn't respond to a parent after 16 days, that's a problem. So, my mother, God rest her soul, taught me that actions speak louder than words. Other people have said that today. As a Clay County teacher, as a parent of a Clay County student, and as a graduate of Clay County schools, I'm tired of the placating words. It's time for some action.
All right, up next is Justine, but before we start with her, Molly Geezer, Jason Dooney, I'm trying to read handwriting. I'm sorry, Jason, Jessica Kittrell, Judith Chappelle, Liz Crane, Christopher Trahan, Tara Richardson, Mary Howley, and Chandra Holsley. All right, go ahead, Miss Justine.
Thank you. My name is Justine. I'm not a teacher. I am a parent. I'm also one of your neighbors. I really do believe in what public schools mean to our communities. I don't come here as someone who grew up here, but my kids go to school here, and I believe in the education that this school district gives to my kids. You guys are amazing. I'm here tonight because I want to stand with the teachers, of course. I believe that they're doing everything right. They show up, they do work overtime. I know many of that is unpaid. And they support our kids when we can't, because a lot of us are working families who can't work and teach. I can't do my job and teach my kids, and they would hate it. But somehow they're still being punished by the policies that come out of Tallahassee, policies that make it harder and harder for public education to even survive in this state. Meanwhile, politicians here in Tallahassee are arguing to spend money making schools hang portraits of U.S. presidents. That's SB 420 and HB 371, if you don't know. Like, seriously, that's the priority in it right now. That's what gets money. They don't get money. Not enough to make sure that these teachers can pay rent, pay their mortgage, buy their groceries, or even stay in the jobs that they love. The same people who would lay down their lives for our children if there was a shooter in their school tomorrow. But somehow they're the ones told, there's no money for you, even though you guys said there's money for us. While the board doesn't directly have hands on everything, this is disgusting. This is backwards. This is ridiculous. And at the same time, we've got what? $24 million that's being siphoned out of Clay County, all into these private voucher programs, all of these things that have no real oversight, no real transparency. We don't know where that money goes. We don't know how it's spent. We don't know if those kids are actually getting the education the taxpayers were promised and that we pay for. Meanwhile, Clay County gets a $10 million shortfall. And the teachers are being told to yet again do more with less. Sorry, no more for you. Living wages, boo-hoo. That's not sustainable. This is not responsible. And it's sure as hell not fair for them. It's not fair to our kids. It's not fair to the parents who depend on this system like me. Because not everybody can homeschool. Not everybody can afford private school. We rely on these public schools because that's supposed to be for the greater good. And what's most frustrating is living in a family, in a state, that talks nonstop about family values, but refuses to value the people who educate our children. It shouldn't be controversial to say that the teachers deserve to make enough to live in the communities they teach, to own a home here, to raise their families here, to retire here if they want to. But under these kind of policies, that's getting impossible. So do more, do better for our teachers.
Miss Molly.
My name is Molly Geeser, 401 Stiles Avenue, Orange Park, and I have proudly taught in Clay County for 36 years. I have devoted my entire professional life to helping Clay County students grow. This community is my home, and its children are my heart. But tonight, my heart is heavy because our teachers, the people who make this district what it is, are reaching a breaking point. The Clay County Education Association has reached an impasse with the district over pay. That impasse is not just a contract dispute. It is a crisis that threatens the stability and excellence of our schools. The district's current offer is not a raise, it is a message. It tells us that decades of experience, advanced degrees, and deep commitment are worth little more than leftovers. Nearly half of our teachers would receive no raise at all under this proposal. Meanwhile, teachers in neighboring counties are earning more for the same work. Those districts have made competitive compensation a priority because they know it is the key to retaining experienced educators. Clay County is falling behind, and that difference is pushing great teachers to leave for our districts that value their expertise, for other districts. At the same time, board members recently received about a 3% raise. If the people in charge of policy and oversight are granted raises to account for inflation and cost of living, then surely those of us doing the daily hands-on work with students deserve the same consideration. The district argues that millage funds are earmarked only for safety, but let me be clear, teachers are safety. We are the only ones allowed to answer our classroom doors all day. Why? Because of safety. We are required to wear panic buttons and trained to respond when there is a threat on campus. We are the eyes, the ears, and the hearts that keep our students safe. There is no school safety without teacher support. Clay County's success is built by people, experienced, compassionate, skilled teachers who show up day after day, year after year, even when their paychecks fail to reflect their worth. I urge you tonight to make fair teacher compensation a true priority. Invest in the professionals who create the excellence you celebrate. Value us as partners, not placeholders.
Thank you. Mr. Jason? Jason?
My name is Jason Doan. I live 5495 Gordon Court. I'm not a teacher. I'm a parent of two kids that graduated from this high school right here, Libby Island. Great kids. They went to college. They get a great education here. But I am the husband of a teacher and the brother-in-law of a teacher who has to live with me because she can't afford to live on her own because she doesn't make enough. She has a master's degree. She's worked for 17 years. She can't afford. Is that your problem? Yeah, it is. You guys asked for this job. All of you ran for this job. You said, I'm going to do better than the last group. Have you? I don't know. Have you done better than the last group before that? I don't think so. Because I'm sitting here looking at this. I pulled this up last night, and I remember this from 2011. Another superintendent came up and said, oh, we can't afford it. We can't do this. We have a list of what teachers are supposed to make. It was a step increase. This was 2011, so that's 15 years ago. A 27-year teacher was supposed to pay $60,000 a year in 2011. So now, today, in those numbers, it'd be $87,000, $86,000, something like that. I did learn from some teachers, so I do know how to do math. The 17-year teacher, which is my sister-in-law, she should be at like 62 or 67,000 right now. Neither one even close. Not even close. So now you're telling us the same thing. The last superintendent said, please, we're at a shortfall. The guys before us made a mistake. They didn't get the 3% savings. So it's just please help us. Break your contract. This was a contract. As a business person, when I sign a contract, I have to honor it. The school boards before you didn't honor the contract. Ask them to help them out. Please help us make up this shortfall, and we'll make it up to you. We promise. If you even honored this contract at $60,000, you would help. But honestly, you owe $27,000 or teachers for 27 years. You owe them $86,000 a year. Let's not add up all the money that they didn't get paid because of this. They helped you guys or your predecessors when you needed them. Now you're again going, gosh, we don't know what to do. Another teacher said it great. I hadn't thought of it as a great idea. And as a business owner, I have to plan 2-3 years in advance for taxes, for employees, everything I have to do. I don't get to just go, sorry, the budget was bad. Can't do it. You guys have to do better. You asked for the jobs. You ran for the jobs. You spent money to become insurance. Fix the problem, or at least come up with a plan next year where you can fix the problem, because I don't hear that either.
Miss Jessica?
I'm Jessica Kittrell, and my address is on file. I'm speaking today because I have a question I can't get out of my mind. When I heard that all of you were receiving a 3.5% raise, I was under the impression that the state determined your raise based on population growth, and it wasn't you that created the raise for yourself, therefore it was out of your control. Then I heard that you had the option to decline the raise, but instead you chose to accept the 3.5%. Now you make $48,500 for a part-time position for the county. Meanwhile, with my 9 years experience working a full-time position, one unpaid part-time position, which are all the rest of the tasks that teachers have to do in order to make sure that their students get the best education that they can give them. And I also work another part-time paid position. I'm working 6 days a week, and I'm barely making more than your part-time position. The state feels you deserve a 3.5 raise due to population growth. Why is it that you feel I deserve 0%, educating those that are the reason why you got your raise? You may say you don't feel that way, but I've watched the bargaining meetings. I've watched multiple options be put up on the table for consideration, and all of them have been declined because there's no money. However, when asked specifics about the money, it's always a broad answer and never specific and not transparent. We, as a public, deserve to know where exactly the funds are going and why there isn't enough for teachers. But let's say you are speaking the truth and there truly is no money to give educators. Here are the facts. You, as a part-time school board member, were offered and accepted a $1,457 raise. Veteran teachers with 10 years or more experience and an abundance amount of professional development hours under their belts get a $300, or I don't know, someone else said $800 raise, whatever that is. Myself, along with 45% of other teachers or more in the district with less than 10 years experience, are getting 0%. Mind you that some have master's degrees. I myself have worked extremely hard to maintain a highly effective teaching status, which is due to my highly rated evaluations and my student state testing scores. Yet we are worth 0%. Your plan is to give us something in 2 years based on funds that you don't even know if the state is going to be offering them at that point. Lastly, highly qualified educators are already resigning. They are not waiting until the end of this year, let alone 2 years. My question is, why would you accept a raise from our compensation funds, yet leave 45% of educators with nothing and veterans with the leftover money? I honestly don't know how you guys are able to sleep at night.
Miss Judith?
Hi, my name is Judith Chappelle, and my address is on file. And this is going to be a little bit of a commercial break because I'm not going to be talking about teacher salaries. I actually watched the workshop, and I wanted to thank you guys for being able to look into taking on student discipline in the future. My granddaughter is a student here at Fleming Island, and one of the things that she talks to me about every day is her 5th period class. In her 5th period class, there is a student discipline issue. I actually came here with my heart breaking for what it is that this teacher deals with on a daily basis. He has students in his class that interrupt his class daily, and it seems to be a challenge for him. He even mentioned during our orientation that these students are an issue for him, and he seems to have his hands tied. This behavior seems to be something that he cannot deal with. He writes referrals, they're back in class, they're banging on desks, they're disrupting his class on a daily basis. he spends about 80% of his classroom time in trying to discipline these football players that are part of his classroom, and only about 20% of his time teaching. My heart breaks for him as a teacher. Until today, I was actually wondering where this poor behavior could come from. Where did they learn how to disrupt meetings when there should be some decorum? Where could they learn how to not act correctly when there should be sitting quietly in class? Thank you.
Ms. Liz Crane.
Good evening. Liz Crane, you have my address on file. Last time we chatted, I shared that you were paid $46,544 in the 24-25 school year, and this year your pay increased to $48,011. Financially, as we've heard tonight, that's $1,467 or a 3% raise. That is almost 3 times more than what you were offering the employees. It was stated, oh, well, we can't do anything about it. Legislature determines our salary. Well, you're half right. State statute does have a formula to determine your salary, as stated earlier, statute 1001395, that the board's salary is, the amounts are indicated based on the population of the county the district board member serves. However, if you keep reading, just underneath that statute is this one. Notwithstanding the provisions of this section is 145.19, district school board members may reduce their salary rate on a voluntary basis. Now, I have a lot of history in this county. Been involved with the union for a long time. Back in the 2000s, I remember when the school board voting on their salaries, they felt very strongly that their salary should not be higher than the beginning teacher salary. Remember that, Tara? I can remember only one year where a school board member differed, but if memory serves, they still voted to keep their compensation lower than the beginning teacher. This is not due to a law. They did not think that they shouldn't be compensated. It was about decency. I began to see erosion in that decency in 2009, and I'm seeing it again tonight. I am sure by now your attorney has the statute up on his computer. He's probably had it up all day. And is looking at one in particular, so I'll save him the trouble. Just under that statute about reducing your salaries is another one. Notwithstanding the provisions of this section, 14519, the salary of each district school board member shall be the amount calculated pursuant to subsection or the district's beginning salary for teachers who hold a bachelor's degree, whichever is less. Please note that this was the language that came about in 2009. The previous school boards were not held to that language. They reduced their salary on their own. They had decency. So what is the decent thing to do? If you firmly believe that there is no money and you could not possibly give not one additional red penny more, then give it back to the district. The decent thing to do is to vote collaboratively, collectively to reduce your salaries to the 24-25 school year.
Christopher.
Good evening. Christopher Trahan. My address is on file. I stand here this evening in solidarity with my fellow teachers instead of being in my graduate courses right now. And I stand here in solidarity and protest to your failure to bargain in good faith, to witness the unprofessional conduct of the district at the last bargaining session was shameful and beneath this county. Shame. Your claims of financial hardship ring hollow as we witness this school board voted to give itself a 3% raise, which comes out of the county's budget, as well as increasing spending on supplies and materials by upwards of about $4 million. Where is the fiscal conservatism that this district has championed itself on for decades? The brain drain that you're risking by refusing to budget for your employees is very real. I'm curious how many advanced degrees are in this room right now. I myself hold a master's degree, and I'm in my 3rd year of doctoral studies. I start my dissertation next year. And I stand here before you saying that my wife, God bless her, with her bachelor's degree, makes in one paycheck what I make in a month. You claim that teachers aren't part of safety and security. But who's responsible for securing my classroom and protecting my students in the event of an emergency? Who was ushering students into their classrooms today at Orange Park High School when a lockdown was triggered, not a drill? Had the situation escalated, it would have been the teachers in the classrooms who would have been responsible for protecting the students of our school. We're the ones on the front line each and every day. We're the ones in the classroom. We are the eyes and the ears of our schools, not you. It is offensive to be dismissed and diminished in the way that you as the board have done. To ask us to accept a proposal that left 45% of our teachers in this county out in the cold is cruel and abusive. You have continually increased our responsibilities as professionals, all the while increasing our class sizes to the point that it appears that you have no intent to respect or honor your obligation to the class size amendment. Our working environment is our students' learning environment.
Ms.
Do
Sarah?
better.
Hello, my name is Mary Alice Howell. My address is 428 Winfield Circle. And today I'm before you because I would like to speak to school safety and who actually keeps our students safe every single day. According to Clay County Schools' own job description, a school safety officer is expected to monitor hallways, de-escalate conflicts, communicate with parents and law enforcement, supervise students, respond to emergencies, and build relationships that prevent problems before they start. That list, that's my Tuesday. Teachers patrol hallways, bus loops, and parking lots. We de-escalate arguments, notice when a student seems off, and step between students and flying furniture, all while teaching, grading, and managing the emotional climate of a classroom. We complete safety training on bloodborne pathogens, human trafficking, mental health, first aid, life vac, bleed control kits, Narcan administration, and de-escalation strategies. We handle medical crises, emotional crises, and everything in between because our students' safety is literally in our hands. So when I hear that teachers shouldn't receive salary funding from the safety and security millage because we're not safety personnel, I have to ask, what do you think we're doing all day? The board earns about $500 less than a first-year teacher for a part-time position. Meanwhile, we're told there's no room for fair raises for those who make the daily magic and the daily safety of our schools possible. If value was measured by actual work, teachers would be at the top of the list. And the irony is, our district is ranked 4th in the state. The ranking isn't because of school board meetings and workshops, it's because of the teachers, staffs, and students who show up every day. But I do not doubt that our success will appear in your campaign materials as though it were your achievement. We've also seen the lack of respect toward the bargaining committee, snark, condescension, and dramatic exits from the board spokesperson have replaced dialogue. There are other ways to show appreciation without breaking the budget. Adjusting supplements for advanced degrees, leaving early on half days, extra planning time, or aligning our last day with the students if duties are complete. What's missing isn't money, it's imagination. When I started teaching 22 years ago, I earned $36,000 to keep up with inflation. I should make about $65,856 today. Yet I'm nearly $10,000 below that.
Ms. Tara.
It is shameful.
Ms. Tara.
My name is Tara Richardson, and my address is on file. I would like to remind the board and the bargaining team that respect costs actually nothing. And I have to tell you, I've been coming to school board meetings for 45 years. It's a different room, it's a different board, but it's the same attitude, and the seats are hard. I'm speaking tonight as a retired educator, a grandmother, and a citizen of this county. I'm speaking tonight because I read that Mr. Broski was disappointed that teachers didn't understand the pressure he and the board are under regarding salaries. As a former employee, I can tell you that the teachers in this county do understand pressure. You've seen it tonight. They have pressure to complete their work serving the students in this county. They have pressure affording and paying for housing, food, insurance, and paying their monthly bills. In 2022, I was part of a group of female educators who met with Representative Garrison, actually then Representative Garrison, regarding House Bill 1, the bill that provided vouchers and money to private and charter schools. Representative Garrison at the time said that he wouldn't vote for a bill that would make Mr. Broski's job any harder, despite the information that I shared with him at the time that vouchers would cost this district in the area of $8 million, far short of what you actually lost. Representative Garrison voted for the bill. I've had an interesting educational career. I was 21 years in the classroom, a teacher, and a union leader, a proud union leader, then an administrator to finish out my career. I can assure you that this district has been to impasse several times. It is never good to go to impasse with your employees. There is nothing productive, and all you do is burn through any goodwill that you have with your employees. You really need to consider supporting your employees the best that you can and respecting them when they speak to you.
Ms. Holsey?
Hello, I'm Dr. Shonda Nicole Hosley. My address is on file. And I'm not here to talk about the topic. However, I would be remiss if I did not say that we have two daughters that have currently going through the Clay County school system, and they are thriving. And that's because of what teachers are imparting into their lives. So I hope that you all can resolve this issue with the teachers. I support the teachers. Due to a scheduling conflict, I was not able to address this situation when it happened in real time. But I would like to know, it dates back to September 3rd, when our Florida Surgeon General had a press conference, and he mentioned that mandatory vaccinations may become a thing of the past. I would like to know your thoughts on this potential outcome and what discussions you are proactively having to address it. I'm a doctorally prepared public health professional, and I know the scientific benefits of vaccinations. They have reduced and in some cases eliminated many diseases that killed or severely disabled humans, such as polio and smallpox. So therefore, I'm curious as to what plans are being devised by this body to address such a policy change. Thank you for your consideration.
Ms. Kidwell? You're up next with an update.
Good evening, Chair, board members, Superintendent, and hopefully some members of the community. Tonight, I want to express my deepest gratitude to the educators who make Clay County Schools what they are. Our teachers, counselors, paraprofessionals, support staff, and administrators are the heartbeat of this district. They are the reason our classrooms feel like family, our schools feel like a community, and our students feel seen and supported. Clay County's reputation as an A district is not built on programs or policies alone. It's built on our people. Our educators spend their own money to make a classroom feel like home. They comfort a child having a hard day, and they find new ways to inspire curiosity and confidence. Our educators go far beyond what's written in a job description. They arrive early, they stay late, they plan lessons long after their own children have gone to bed. They bring creativity, patience, compassion into every corner of their work. They coach, they mentor, they listen, and they lift others up. Our people care deeply about every child who walks through their doors. Tonight, while many of us are gathered here, I want to acknowledge those who wanted to be here, but notified me they could not. After giving their all to their students all day, they must head to a second job just to make ends meet. That reality should give us pause. These are dedicated professionals shaping the next generation, yet too many are sacrificing their evenings, their energy, and their time with their families to simply get by. Still, they show up every morning with smiles, determination, and hope. They find ways to inspire despite the challenges. Excellence is not an abstract goal. It lives in the daily actions of these dedicated educators who inspire the spirit and the success of our students. Our educators deserve more than our gratitude. They deserve respect, fair compensation, and the unwavering support of this community. But tonight, at the very least, they deserve to be seen and celebrated for all that they give. I am so very proud of them. And to every educator here, and to those working elsewhere tonight, thank you. Thank you for your endless dedication, your courage, your compassion, and your belief in our students. You're the heart of Clay County. You are what makes this district great, and I hope we never forget it.
All right, up next we have, or is Mr. Lonnie present? Mr. Lonnie? No? Okay.
Yes, ma'am. You're welcome.
For the CESFA update.
Good evening, school board members, support staff, and the good citizens of Clay County, you teachers. My name is Diana Bowes, and my address is on file. I am proud to serve this county as a school bus driver. For nearly 12 years, I have served our students and our community with dedication. Before making Clay County my home, I spent 22 years as a Navy spouse supporting military families and several commands here and abroad, before and after 9/11, a time that tested our nation, but also showed us the power of unity. In addition to driving, I serve for a prominent criminal law firm with jurisdiction nationwide on my own contract, and I proudly serve in learning this vice president's role for CESPA, our support staff, and emphatically know the importance of a contract. Tonight I stand not only for myself, but for the hardworking support staff of Clay County, the people who show up to keep our schools running and our students safe. Are you aware we are in a government shutdown? Families right here in this community are struggling to afford groceries and housing. Now is not the time to withhold a raise your support staff has earned, and we are not asking for luxury. Excuse me. We have heard time and time again that the Clay County is a poor county. No, we're not. But the growth we see all around us tells another story. To neighborhoods, new families, new development, Clay County is not the same county as it once was. Everywhere you go, we run into traffic, new buildings popping up, new housing popping up. What we are asking for is for something fair. To our citizens, I want you to hear this clearly. We are currently and will be, as of Christmas break, 16 drivers short. 16 drivers short. That means 16 bus loads of up to 55 to 76 kids will not have a driver. And folks like me and those that were standing with me, we're running hard to try to get our kids to you, teachers. And we are human. We're not robots. We break. That's 16 loads of children without a consistent driver. We are not short-staffed because people don't want to work here. We are short-staffed because people can't afford to work here. They are leaving to go to other places that pay better. We are losing good people. Our students are paying the price. Let's speak safety. Not long ago, Mr. Brodsky, I had a situation, and I thank Mr. Boyack, wherever he's here. I have to stop, and I'll honor that. But thank you for listening. Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Brodsky, Superintendent update.
Yes, ma'am. Wow. I agree with Ms. Kidwell. We should celebrate, all of our employees and the work they do. I thought you did a good job, Ms. Kidwell, kind of wrapping that all up for sure. There's no doubt that our employees deserve more. So maybe what I ought to do is kind of pivot a little bit on what I was going to talk a little bit about some of the questions that were asked here. One of the things that when we're in an impasse type of situation, the board really won't be talking much about it because they can't. So I guess I'll be the guy that does some speaking on behalf of the board related to this particular topic. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about the budget, and then I have some other stuff that's really great dealing with students, schools of the month, our October recap, virtual planning. I listened to Mr. Harris. Are you still out there? Where are you? Okay, some of the questions he asked, some of the points that he brought up, as well as some of the other folks, what they said, I think it's true. Absolutely 100% true. So I would appreciate the opportunity to give this quick 3-minute overview of this. I promise I'm not going to spend very long doing it, but trying to give this to you in a easy, digestible view of the budget. So I'm just going to give it quickly to you so you can see this. One, ideally you want a budget that's balanced, right? Revenue and expenditures have to match. Just like at home, you can't spend more money than you make, right? A very basic concept. Unfortunately, the 25-26 budget, you can see that expenditures far exceeded revenue from the state. So when I heard Mr. Harris kind of pointing towards Tallahassee and other places, I think he's very astute in his analogy there. Florida ranks 50th in funding for teacher pay. It ranks 43rd overall for per student funding. That is not good. It's really not. It's at the very bottom of all of our states. When you take a look at the history of this, never before in the history of the state of Florida have they not produced a fourth calculation. So a fourth calculation is at the end of the year, when you get to April, the state says, okay, here's where you're at, district. This is the last calculation. To this day, they have not produced a calculation. Why? I hate to say this. I think it's because of vouchers and their inability to figure it out. How about that, right? It's kind of sad to say. In addition, federal funds were withheld, and the state didn't even pass a budget to the very end, if you recall. Let's talk about what's happened and what the state has done in regard to the budget. You can see that the revenue that the state produced was 0.78 of 1%. That's less than 1% that the state gave. Inflation alone is 2.9%. So in a district terms, that's roughly $16 million loss. TSIA, the salary initiative for teachers, they cut that by 55%. That went from 2.7 to 1.2. Think about that. The legislature, through legislation and the budget, it went from 2.7 to 1.2. In addition to that, zero increase for Safe Schools, mental health, again, ranks 43rd out of 50 states, ranks 50th in teacher pay, right? You could see that in the TSIA number. If you take a look at what happened to us specifically, enrollment went down about 500 students from the previous year. You're going to see, I'm going to give you a slide here in a second that's going to show this. In addition, FRS has gone up every last 4 years. Vouchers, I heard maybe 4 or 5 of you speak about this. And let me just say, this is what's happened to Clay County with vouchers. I think I heard Ms. Richardson too talking about it. 30 million, let this sink in, $30 million from Clay County going to vouchers. If you notice, in the 23-24 school year, which is the third column, if you can't see it, third column from the right, you can see that's when it all exploded. If you pay attention to the legislation, what happened in that year was they took off the income limit and also made it so that it was universal and could go to private schools. So there's currently public school funding, right? Public school tax dollars going to private schools, students that have never, ever been enrolled in public schools. As the public school superintendent, I absolutely am upset about that. You know, I think that speaks for itself for everyone out there. So you might say, well, what's happening? We'll tell you what we're doing about it right here in a second. When you take a look up there, you can see all other districts in the state are experiencing the same sort of thing. I hope that you're kind of tuning in and seeing what's happening to public education across our state. Of course, locally, we're focused on that, but you can see that just about every district is having similar issues. In the case of the bottom one, because I don't want to call out names, you know, they're looking for an $85 million deficit. So all districts started off with this particular year, in the 25-26 year, how are we going to make up $30 million of funding for vouchers, only paying us a 0.78%. So I know all of that's like, okay, well, great. What are you doing about it? Right? That would be the question. I heard that from the back. Here are the things that we've done so far to be proactive related to this. All district and school allocations. Yes, we did move, I think 242 positions, if I got the number right, of positions reallocated out. Okay, that's tremendous amount of shifting that you guys all know what I'm talking about. We also reduced budgets by 20%. That's all budgets across the board. That would include things such as energy and other items. We canceled contracts. We did return on investment to figure out what programs, for example, transportation itself, the amount of money that the state funds transportations, and help me out, Don, if I get it wrong, but it's like $9 million. The total cost of transportation is almost $18 million, to give you an idea, just alone. Travel, monitoring, all of those steps are currently being taken. And in addition, I heard I think it was Mr. Harris, talking about, hey, what's the plan for the future? We've met several times with our local delegation, which is, they're really good people. And at the same time, being good people is one thing, but also producing more money is another thing, right? And so we've done that, working on that diligently. I will say, in fairness, when you look at how the board has contributed over the past couple of years, you can see the numbers up there, right? Those are the actual numbers. So you can see from the 1920 school year through the 24-25 school year, that amount in red is the reoccurring funds reinvested in our employees. You deserve more than that. I know that, okay? When you see that number, that total number winds up being around $49 million. So to give you an idea of what that is, that's a tremendous investment. It's not enough, totally get it. But you can see that number is significant. The last box that you see there, the $14 million, is the increased contribution towards health insurance, right? So here's a little fact that's not really talked about much because it's not popular to talk about it, but the last 6 years, no premium increase on health insurance. That's 6 years straight. The way that that happens is by increasing the contribution by 14 million. So when you look at that, and I appreciate you listening to me, I really do. When you look at that and apply logic to that, very few businesses wind up 6 years without any increase. So I think the message there is that we hear what you're saying. We really do. I'm trying just in the 3-minute time frame give you a whole budget picture here, but you can see how the board has done during that time frame. Again, it's not good enough. I totally get it. Okay, but at the same time, we are trying to increase revenue, and of course, we have to decrease expenses. There's only 2 ways out of it. You have to increase revenue and decrease expenses. So that's kind of where we are now. I do appreciate 3 or 4 speakers talking about like, hey, how is it that we get more money, right? I would encourage you to use democratic principles and contact your legislators related to funding. You cannot increase funding by 0.78 and think it's not going to have an effect on every district across Florida. That's kind of sad to give you that information that way, but that's kind of where it's at. So I do appreciate you listening. Thank you so much for that. Now on to what I was going to talk about, super students. Okay. Here's Ainsley. Ainsley, fantastic student from Rideout, wound up safety patrol captain, fitness club, totally great student. Okay, Reese from Wilkinson Junior High. I'm going to tell you, every adult on the campus of Wilkinson knows who Reese is. In the senior high category, you get Keenley from Keystone, fantastic kid, doing great things out there. Schools of the month, Clay Hill Elementary, and also Ridgeview Elementary, fantastic schools. This month, we want you to vote. The theme is Helping Hands. October recap, it was Principals Appreciation Month. You can see the picture of our principals. Over 1,000 years in education among those principals, 14 of them more than 30 years on the job. Unity Day, want to thank everybody for that. There was the Anti-Bullying Day district-wide. Virtual Parent Academy. You can see the Virtual Parent Academy are courses for parents. Here are the ones that are out there now: Navigating Rooms for Parents, Understanding Report Cards and Accessing Grades, FAFSA Fundamentals. Coming soon, Supporting Resiliency and Understanding Dual Enrollment. Here's your upcoming events. Tuesday, of course, Veterans Day, a day to honor our veterans near and dear. And of course, at the end of the month, fall break, Thanksgiving. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Superintendent. Attorney, remarks. All right, we're going to start with school board remarks. Ms. Gilhausen.
Nothing from me tonight, thank you.
Mr. Alvaro. Ms. Clark.
The only thing I'd like to add tonight is that we have had quite a few emails and phone calls from citizens who recognize that school crossing guards are not as plentiful as they used to be, and it's kind of like our bus drivers. So I'll just make a public service announcement. If anyone knows anybody that's willing to work for the sheriff's office and do those few hours a day, we need you. So that's all I want to say. Thank you.
Ms. Hanson.
Yeah, I just have something little to say. We're not allowed to talk about everything you guys talked about tonight. I don't think a lot of you know that. Well, what I want to tell you is I taught in Clay County. I got hundreds of emails about how I don't understand to be a teacher. Nearly 20 years, 80 hours a week, teaching English to kids who can't read. I was an ESE teacher, got 2 masters. When I left the classroom in my 19th year, I made $48,300. My daughter has a master's and lives with me at my house with my 2 grandkids. I'm sorry everybody left because I was quite frankly tired of hearing the emails about how we don't understand. I absolutely understand This board absolutely understands. The superintendent absolutely understands. And for some reason, that message has gotten lost. And I just want to tell you that you are close to our hearts and always in our thoughts. And we'll work hard to fix it.
This meeting is adjourned.